Hey everyone, my name is Tyson Lucas, and here are my thoughts on First Peter's teaching of exile and land for this week's assignment. Um, when I think about exile, I think about not belonging to your home. Um, First thing that I think about is the exiles that the Israelites and the Jews were a part of, and the hardships that they had not being able to worship in the way that they wanted to, and having to be a part of other nations and not being able to really identify as God's chosen people. And so, as a Christian, exile really sticks to me because it means that I'm a part of this world, but at the same time, I'm not meant for this world. My citizenship is in heaven, and God has given me a whole new identity. So, as a believer, I want to make sure that I'm living out that identity on a daily basis. I want to make sure that I'm living as if I'm forgiven, not living so that I seek affirmation for my works or my behavior or so that people notice me. I want my identity to represent what Jesus has done in my life, and what I believe about God. If He says that I'm chosen and precious to Him, then do I care if I get the approval of others by my actions, or am I really worried about what God thinks about me and my behavior? Um, I do work at a church full time. I'm the kids pastor there, and so one of the things I want to make sure is that my focus is on making sure that people belong and feel uh, belong to our church and belong in Christ. Um, there's a lot of administrative work that goes into making sure stuff goes smoothly on Sunday, and I'm always working towards Sunday. And so the focus is church, 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 and the people. Um, but I want to make sure that I am living with a desire not to be so administratively oriented or focused. I want to make sure that I'm really focusing on what matters, and the church is made up of God's people, and they are the people that really need my attention. So instead of focusing my efforts each week solely on like curriculum and scheduling, making sure that I really invest in volunteers, in kids, and definitely trying to come alongside parents and help them out in their struggles and their celebrations. The second part is land, and Second Peter's teaching of land definitely emphasizes hope, a hope that God will restore the brokenness caused by sin. Um, it's a hope for the future, but also just a reminder that it's a hope in Jesus, because um, my hope isn't heaven; it's what's found in heaven, which will be Jesus. And Jesus didn't come and die and rise again so that I could just live in a shell and not be engaged with this world. I believe that as a Christian, I'm called um, to engage with this world and endure even suffering if that's what it takes, from my convictions. Living unashamed of my faith and my convictions is a big part of that hope. Whether the world calls me foolish or judges me for the way that I live, or if my relationships suffer because people don't agree with my beliefs, that's something that I have to accept and something that I need to embrace and not shy away from if that's the case. Um, as Peter said, we're all called to suffer, and suffering for something that you're guilty of doesn't have any value. But when you suffer along with Christ, um, then you're really building up your inheritance in heaven, and you're really showing other people the love of Christ when you love them without conditions, regardless of what they think or what they say. So I want to make sure that uh, my hope, my identity in Christ, is definitely more important than any acceptance that I might get in this world. And I pray that God would give me strength when it comes to those times of conflict and suffering and hardships that come from living out of faith. Anyways, guys, those are my thoughts. Thank you for listening, and have a good day.